In this video, we will look together at how to sketch and watercolor paint a beautiful winter day scene from the city of Stockholm. We will also talk about the three depth planes, foreground, middle ground, and background, and how to approach sketching and painting them. So let's start by analyzing the scene and the composition. First of all, it is a beautiful winter day. We have a lot of sunlight. The atmosphere is cold and crisp. It's very clean, so we can see a lot of details in distance. In the lower third of the scene, we have the foreground that is quite simple. It mainly contains the snow in the sunlight. In the center, we have the middle ground, and here will be our focus area. We can see a nice boat docked here, a few benches, a man sitting on a bench and enjoying the sunlight, some signs, some plants, and a city lamp. In the higher third, we have the background with the sky and the silhouette of the city. That area is called Mariahusen, and if you are interested, I have a video on the channel dedicated to sketching it. Now, as mentioned before, the atmosphere is very clean, so we see a lot of details in the background. But it's important to remember that the background is only a background. Its purpose is to enhance the main subject and not to compete with it. So there is no need to paint all those details, even if they appear in our reference picture. So I start with a very simple pencil sketch, mainly blocking down the main elements from these three depth planes. For me, this first part of the sketching process is more like a helper, like guidelines that will help me later on during the ink drawing and watercolor painting. This initial pencil sketch doesn't have to be too precise, and frankly, it is very hard to draw it in good proportions from the beginning, because it is just the first interaction with the empty paper. But it becomes very helpful later on when drawing with the fountain pen and waterproof ink. So with my fountain pen, I'm only sketching the elements that are in the middle ground, the boat, the benches, the man, and the street lamp. I can further refine their proportions and actually build on top of the pencil under sketch. And as I want the background and the foreground to be a bit more loose, I don't add any ink marks on these areas. Instead, I will suggest them directly with watercolor. Now we are done with sketching and ready to start watercolor painting. Painting with watercolor becomes much more fun and easy when you already have a sketch in place and you don't have to think anymore about perspective or proportions. Now it's time to focus a bit more on colors and on values. In this particular scene, the dominant color is violet blue. We have it almost everywhere, in the distant background, in the sky, in the middle ground shadows, and even a bit in the foreground. During winter time, shadows tend to be very cold colors, and this happens because the snow helps in reflecting the blue sky. So having in my mind this dominant color violet blue, I started painting a light wash of blue and violet over the background and over the middle ground. In the foreground, I will add a warm wash of raw sienna, because this part is directly in the sun. If you are new to this channel, here you will find many step-by-step sketching and watercolor painting videos, most of them being focused on urban scenes and architecture. So if you want to learn more about these subjects, go and check the other videos that are available on the channel. After this initial wash is completely dry, we can continue with painting the background. So even though we can notice many details in the reference photo, we still have to treat it for what it is, a background for our main subject, the boat and the man sitting on the bench. I look at the reference picture and try to capture a similar silhouette profile, but instead of focusing on the individual buildings, I try to paint it as a whole, as one entire area that has a bit of color variance in it. I continued painting the boat, and this first wash I'm careful to go around the windows, and as you see, I use the same colors over and over. When painting a boat, it is important to express its rounded form. As you see on the right side of the boat, the values are lighter because more sun is getting on that part of the surface. Now we can focus on painting the blue-violet shadows. By painting the shadows, we mainly paint the light. In winter time, in the northern hemisphere, the sun is quite low even during lunchtime, so the shadows tend to be very long. I took a look at the painting and noticed that at this point it was quite flat. It didn't have the strong feeling of depth. And this happens because of the similar values between the background silhouette of the city and the middle ground boat. So, to fix this, I decided to come over the boat with another layer of paint and create stronger values. In this way, it will pop from the background and appear closer to us. If you decide to give this subject a try and paint by following this tutorial, don't forget to tag colorartemotion in your social media and also mention in your description that you followed one of my tutorials. Thank you very much! Let me know in a comment below if this video was useful to you, and if you want to see more similar videos, check out these ones popping on the screen right now. Take care and see you in the next video.